So this September, this is Jurassic Cops Month, celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the Jurassic Cops Season 3 toy line launch, and the whole franchise's theatrical film, featuring old characters you can't get the toys of anymore, because it's been in development heck and delayed for like 2 years, and in direct competition with another Korean Transformer kids film that kinda is more popular and already did a Dino robot movie before. So now I'm taking a look at the first of the 4 of the Season 3 new toys, Jupinocops. Looking at the packaging styling, the main toy distributor is Aurora. There's a logo here and a badge window with the dino claws. And the Jupino core display on the side here. Blue lightning. And then the stock illustrations. Copyright studio button. Bottom of the box is the typical, affair like from August of 2021. I am really late. A studio button seal of authenticity. Yeah, this side of the box is the full lineup for all the 4 characters. The other side has the contents and the several modes, like the 2 different modes that can be inserted into the Jurassic Commander sold separately, 2 accessories combined with the car into the robot. Face change and all the contents. Back of the box has a nice illustration of the Jupinocops robot mode, the D core, the Jupino, the patrol car. Even after removing those premium ties, these plastic inserts do hold it in pretty well. I'll start with the little guy first, the Jupino, the red Spinosaurus, in its dino core form. In this shape, it just looks like an indiscreet, transparent red rock crystalline thing with folded up robot bits. The bottom of the base has these certain sets of grooves in a specific pattern so that this slides into a Jurassic Commander roleplay sold separately. And then plays its lights and sounds. To transform this thing, hinge down, hinge up, and that kind of automatically folds up the dorsal fin, and you have a general shape of a robotic Spinosaurus thing with a literal butt plug, big old black eyebrows, and those anime-style creature eyes. Of course, it's not the best representation of the character. That's what the bigger figure is for. Show accurate, bigger toy version. But just for the little core mode, but for what it's going for, it's a decent representation of the character. The main vehicle is called the Patrol Car. It is a speedster police car type, but it's still looking a little kiddily proportioned. I mean, that's a somewhat short bonnet. It's a pretty long seating area. It has the spoilers that kind of suggest it's kind of speedy, but it's still a little squash. It's like there's only like 2 wheel spaces between here. I mean, I think it's just like a right in between the cool and realistic and then the kiddified toy carish. I mean, I think it's right between the cool, streamlined, modern, hyper-realistic cars for kidults, and then the chibi-fied, toyetic cars for kids. Yeah, I don't think it goes too far in either, so which is an interesting design, I guess. This might be the only vehicle of this entire season that's not overtly a dino-themed vehicle. It's just more subtly dino-themed, just like especially the main windshield area. Just it's kind of a jagged on the bottom here and a bit of a angle at the top. There is the Jurassic Cops logo right in the center there on the tiny little grill, as with the raised logos on the side, both sides. And then I guess the front bonnet is a little aggressively jagged shaped, as with the angled roof lights. I mean, there's painted side windows on the front here and implied back windows here, but they both have stuff in the way, so the front is the only usable viewing space. It is smoky black. In terms of paint and plastic, it is a nice primary blue with some black wheels and the dark gray inner wheels. But this is paint. I mean, it's pretty good paint matching for the black. And it has some nice transparent clear bits like the blue and the red, which is also reused for the tail lights. And the transparent yellow for 4 sets of headlights. Nice premiums. It has some silver painted on the side vents here and a little bit of white on the underside and the top on it here. There's a little bit of the color matching blue that's slightly darker than the rest of it, but not that noticeable. And then the yellow trims the main windshield and the logo and the grille here. And the thin striping on the front and the spoiler. It is kind of looking see-through, but it's not super cheaply painted. But none of that yellow paint discrepancy matters because that's not show accurate. The yellow is all gold, a nice metallic gold, but I guess they kind of just cheaped out and just went with yellow for Jupinocops. I mean, it's not like yellow is the only kind of paint they could afford. So this is a nice stylized, somewhat K-style police car, a big old police car that kids will enjoy. Transformation as it deploys from a Koban style little police station in the transformation stock sequence. Easiest part is fold these headlights down. Yep, you know, for a little kid's toy, this thing has a lot of tiny moving panel parts. And they're often on plastic pin hinges, so there's gonna be a lot of popping if you don't know what you're doing. So I guess carefully lift the spoiler from the right side first because the tab's here. Then I can just generally give it a big old split. Transform by lifting up this blue panel, then putting the spoiler in, and then double hinging the entire back half of this so that it fills up the leg gap nicely. And then fold in the rest of this blue panel into this square tab here. And then flip out a little heel spur, and then flip out the front foot. That's pretty intricate for a lower leg. Finish off the leg by tucking in those front of the bumper now. And then, yeah, line that upper torso in the right spot. And fold down the side flaps. Click down, then 180 those shoulders, and then turn those sirens around. Wrist down, and then head up and around. Oops, there's a butt flap. The little speedo cord goes right in here. It's not exactly that obvious, but I think just really push it in there until you get the friction in there, and then fold it down on the little nub. And it fills in the torso and makes it secure. So there's the full robot mode. And technically a little dino powered up into a bigger body. It sure is a police-style car robot that wears his chest and headlights proudly. And it's a bit of a chonky looking fellow because most of his legs form most of the car. While the torso area and the arms area were pretty compressed in the center. So he kind of has little short arms, but they don't look too misproportioned. Newly revealed details in the robot mode are mostly in the shoulders, like these yellow plastic side vents and the shoulder vents. And his forearms also have some yellow paint on them, which also look cheap and flat compared to the show shiny gold. And also the headlights are not yellow. This would look a little better if all of these were painted in a bit of a metallic gold, wouldn't it? Dino T-Rex style raised logos here with some dark painted red. It's not the brightest red paint though, and his lower legs are pretty white in the center, with some claw-shaped patterns on his lower leg, and a little red arrow up here, and a red arrow pointing down here. Relatively simplistic, but enough details to get that robot style. And then contrast that with these rather intricate inner workings of the leg. Just a black panel. Closer look at the head. It is a police helmet style kind of bot, with a big yellow forecrest. That's not quite the same yellow paint as the rest of it. Some blue paint all around, and a little black visor, and a little black chin, and a little black sides, and the eyeliner. And most distinctly, there's a single antenna, Paldemar style.
Pat labor.
The lower torso is technically diagonal. Yeah, it's a straight diagonal slant, but the back skirt flap and the angle of this thing that slopes downward really hides it nicely that you really can't tell this is a uncommon diagonal slant that his torso is doing. So he might be doing a static rest position. Gimmicks! Turning the back knob here to the counterclockwise, activate some bright red light in his chest. That's a pretty clever way to integrate a light up feature that all these Dino cores have. That lights up the inside of his chest pretty nicely. Powered by 2 LR41 batteries included. In the show, he has a regular mouse mode and a faceplate mode, and that is replicated by simply removing the helmet and flipping it around. Yep, it's another great gimmick. This is another pretty great gimmick that really gives it that cool robot style or that more humanoid face style. It's like intricately molded Lego dual-sided minifigure heads. The first of the accessories is officially called the Jupino Heavy Gun. It's a dino-shaped little handgun, but it is cast in all black, unlike the show-accurate blue and all intricate stuff. So this would be a really tiny custom work. The other accessory is this Jurassic rod. Yeah, just like a police rod. It's also a small version of a bigger roleplay toy. So those go in either of his square slit hands, which actually doesn't connect by the handle. Rather, it just frictions in between the thumb and the dorsal side of the hand. I guess so that it doesn't get really stuck in there. And this actually frictions in the upper spot. Not that tight, but not that loose either. Now he's armed and ready to take down any reanimated mechanized fossils. And for weapon storage, these wheels have the holes that perfectly fit the hands. And also, incidentally, it's perfectly short enough. His arms are perfectly short enough to automatically holster it. Spinning holster. And for this side, I guess this pointy end would be first, so I just flip it around and then plug it in there. Nice little free hanging weapon storage. Yep, so instantly holster, pull it out, flip out, and then just wrist around. Not sure if that was intentional, but it's pretty neat. Of course, there's no storage in the vehicle mode, but I guess you technically can put them on the wheels on the vehicle mode. Except that, that stops all movement. I mean, you see these clips, these would have been really nice places for different clips to clip onto the side. That would be really neat little weapon storage, so that the kids don't go losing them. But no, these clips are for very specifically a combination. No double function, sorry. Articulation. Head is on a full swivel. Without the core, you can have his transformational flap go down or up and be a bit of an ab crunch. Arms go around on ratchetless hinges. That's some pretty tight friction there. Arms go out that much. Even further if you take off these easily removable siren shoulders for some reason. Yep, they're just pegs, they're not clips or anything, so I guess for safety reasons, they're easily removable but also easily losable. they go much further without them. 90-degree soft elbow click. Strangely resonant ratcheted inward wrists. Of course, no biceps. Legs ratchet, 4 clicks up. 4 clicks back. They slightly ratchet out to the side thanks to these little cuts here, but nothing more than that. Also, these are really echoey and resonant outward hips. They're pretty strong multi-piece ratchets, I'm assuming, but I wonder how strong they could be if they had extra weight on the feet. 6-click 90-degree bend that's slightly weaker than the hip ratchets. These that are also echoey and resonant. And the transformational toe inward that soft clicks. Of course, there's no thigh swivels. This entire thing is car. How can you put a thigh swivel in there without breaking the sculpt or something? Look at that thigh. I mean, it goes all the way here and then it just cuts off here. That would be really tricky to do it. Transform back into car mode to see how well this goes. Ab crunching him will easily remove the Jupino core. Now it just goes on its own again. Head flip, arms forward and then the wrist up. And then turn those around, or you can just part form them off and then reattach them, but you can easily do this. Clip the clip arms in. Reverse that really intricate process. Like there's a certain order you have to do these in. Then don't forget to line those panels up. But I really do like how there is a separate back cover for this instead of just leaving combiner holes just right in the back. This covers it up very nicely. Lift that butt flap. That helmet may come loose. And then just kind of just align them together. I mean, yeah, it's a little tricky to get in here. There is no really solid way other than just friction for these little back covers. So you may not be able to secure it, but yeah, but it should click in place when everything is secured in. Just slide and lock it. There's been plenty of big old police transformer robots. And this just might be one of them, but this is a pretty decent, solid police transformer robot. The plastic might not feel as good as the 2 big established Korean transformer brands. That just might be bias speaking. But it is still pretty solid plastic, as made by Studio Button and Aurora in China. And for the little Korean indie company that could, this is a major improvement compared to their last seasons of toys. I mean, the most direct counterpart to Jupinocops would be the J-Rex in the very first Jurassic Cops toy line. That was the only one of that old toy line I got, and I was so unimpressed with it, I didn't even bother to review it or even take any personal photos. And now it's crap unobtainium that's just sitting away in my personal storage. This is easily the one that most people will get of this toy line because it's pretty heroic looking. It's the main and first character. And it's a pretty good standalone without the extra gimmick play value of his teammates. But I'm a reviewer that just picked this one sampler up and just stopped there, no more. Because I decided to go in and just go in with a full set. Yep, so here's the rest of the 3 boxes. So join me next time as I take a look at each and every one of these in Jurassic Cops Month.